I'll supply the last question, which is, what is the biggest store in this mall? Right? It's kind of an interesting question, and just how big is it? What's the biggest store in the mall? And taking a look at that map, you want to guess what's the biggest store?
Macy's.
Well, Macy's looks like the biggest. And so now we have to ask ourselves, when we ask a question like that, and we want to use math to help us, we want to know what is the precise meaning of that question. So how would you define what is the biggest store? Yeah?
It takes up the most space.
Takes up the most space. And by space, what mathematical term? Area. Okay, so floor area. Okay, so we could now calculate the floor area. So suppose I took this, and now I am going to consult my notes because I don't want to take the time to do the measurements again. Suppose I took a look at that, and Macy's, it turns out, is 6.5 inches by 5 inches on that map. So let me see if I've got this right. I take 6.5 inches, I multiply by 5 inches, I get 32.5 inches, and now I multiply that by 64 to get the number of square feet, right? So in other words, 32 times 64, it's going to be about 2,000 square feet in Macy's. Does that sound about right? 2,000 square feet for Macy's? So 2,000 square feet. How big a room is that? How big is your house in square feet? Somebody who knows roughly how big the square footage their house is.
4,000.
About 4,000 square feet. Nice house. Very good. So is your house bigger or smaller than Macy's?
Macy's is 2 floors.
Okay. How about your house? Is it 2 floors? It's 2 floors. And just think your house and Macy's. Which do you think is bigger? Like your house? So you could fit Macy's inside your house?
Yeah.
No, you could fit your house inside of Macy's. Yeah, most people's houses would fit easily inside of Macy's. So Macy's has got to be more than 2,000 square feet. So where did we go wrong in our calculation? I took the inches. Okay, so it's 4,000 square feet. It's the same size as his house. It still doesn't seem big enough. I mean, it just doesn't. You know, like you hear about a big box store, a Target opens up. They'll say, oh, this Target is how big? Yeah.
When you convert units, you have to square the unit.
Exactly. That's right. This is where, what? Oh, yeah. The comment is that when you convert units and you're calculating area, you've got to square the unit. So in other words, we got to take this in feet times that in feet to get square feet. We had to use our factor of 64 here, but we should have also used our factor of 64 here. So we're going to get 64 times 64 because area is 2-dimensional, right? And that's what dimension means, is that when we expand, we have to multiply by our expansion factor twice. That's why we call it 2-dimensional. If we do that, we get that Macy's area here is 133,000 square feet, right? Which is kind of what we hear here about. They opened up a big box Target or whatever. It's 150,000 square feet. We hear about those kinds of things, in the paper. Okay, so does that mean that Macy's is the biggest store?
Maybe
What? Maybe Neiman Marcus, because it's a kind of a funny shape. So yeah, I had to model this as 3 different rectangles, and I could do the whole work out there. And I got that shape had an area of, Neiman Marcus had 78,000 square feet once I modeled that as 3 rectangles. So Macy's is clearly bigger than Neiman Marcus, right? But I'm sorry, your name is George. George pointed out that Macy's has 2 levels. So do the levels count in the size of the store? Or just like kind of only the footprint area? Which is the better definition? Well, it's up to you. So we can certainly say that if we're using the footprint definition, Macy's is the biggest. But if we care about the levels, the total square footage, Macy's has 2 levels, Nordstrom has 3, Dillard's has 4, and Neiman Marcus has 4. So if I take the Macy's 133,000 square feet and multiply by 2, we get 266,000 total square feet. But if I take Neiman Marcus's 78,000 and multiply that by 4, I get 313,000 square feet. So Neiman Marcus now in total floor area is edging out Macy's. But what about Dillard's with its 4 levels? Coming from behind, Dillard's is 5.25 by 4.25 inches. Once we multiply that by 64, we get 336 feet by 272 feet. Multiply those together, we get 91,000 square feet per level, or 365,000 square feet. in Dillard's. So you could shop 1,000 square feet of Dillard's every day of the year, and it would take you the whole year to do it. And that is the largest store here in the mall.